Hurled along the wing. Casbolt up to meet it. Of course, Harry Mackay back in the team tonight after missing last week. That's rushes it forward. And that's his direction. So it's a good positive start onto that left boot from Harry. Deep to Cunningham, who takes the mark. So Cunningham, who kicked a couple of goals last week, 5 goals, 5 for the season, is about to line up to give the Blues an excellent start.
Well, he was in red-hot form, Mackay, before he's out, injured the last 2 games before that. 3 goals. So it's great to see him leading up at the ball, but when he turned around, he just had multiple options. You know, Hawthorn defenders were called out with the quick ball movement, and he chose the right one in the end.
Conversion from here should be elementary for David Cunningham, and so it proves. Carlton with the first. We're seen to be a weaker opposition.
Well, I think they're in a time now where they really need to establish themselves, and a big win is on the cards. Yes, they've been in close games and they've done quite well in close games, but I thought last week was a big opportunity that they missed against North Melbourne. They should have really put them away. And that's, you know, they come into this game tonight clearly the better side. There's not too much that separates them on the ladder, but if you watch both sides and how they're playing, they are clearly the better side. So can they put a side like Hawthorn away tonight when they're expected to?
Yeah, they want to be in finals contention. It's the sort of match they really need to win, Roo. Curnow got Doherty going. He's been getting plenty of attention from opposition players of late. Martin was a target, so was Mackay. They both flew. Frost, did he take them on? He did.
That's a great start for Carlton. That'll be 50. There's a ruffle of the head. Not a big fan of that one.
No, neither am I. And it's interesting to see if it was Isaac Smith that gave away the free, because he's not normally one of those players. You would have probably thought James Sicily or someone like that would have given away the 50, but
Jack Martin puts it through, and that's 2 on the board in just over 3.5 minutes.
Not necessarily known as a great pressure player in his time at the Gold Coast. You think Jack Martin, you think about his class, his skill level, but he's been really important in the pressure stakes for the Blues to start this year, and he's hit the scoreboard. So he's playing complete games of footy.
Well, he's actually 7th in the AFL in terms of involvements, direct involvements in scores, so that underlines your point. Been a terrific pickup so far for the Blues.
and he may have even suggested that he took a dive.
Evans goes for Mackay. He's a big target. And he takes another juggling mark to get things.
He's one of these modern key forwards.
On the arc, he gives it plenty, Harry, right to the line. And Casbolt takes the mark. And the Hawks' defence, and indeed their whole team, is under real pressure now.
I'll just be careful in case he runs out here, Hutto, but Mackay, one of these modern key forwards, that when they launch, there aren't many defenders that can reach those heights.
10 goals, 4 for the season for Levi, and the arms are up early for the Blues fans.
Got him high, so that is a free kick. But as you were saying, Nick, you know, Sam Frost is no slouch. He's an athletic beast, but he was still half an arm shorter.
Once he launches, yeah. So you think of the King boys now. Once these 200+ centimetre key forwards launch, there aren't many that can go with them. And we know Levi has been a great contested mark for a long time. What a luxury to have these contested marking weapons in your forward line, so you can roll and you can go long to a contest with real confidence. It makes it a pretty simple game, and this is what Carlton have been doing all year.
Yeah, a couple of weeks in a row. MP came full charge, as you saw, seen off by Curnow. Deep ball, 3 against 1. So there's Blues at ground level everywhere. Centre field, and Nunes has done it again. 2 goals last week, 7th for the year. And it's all one way at the moment in Perth. Carlton 4-1-25.
A lot of talk last week about their ball use. They went at 44%, which is the worst ever differential recorded for a Hawthorn team. And they're currently kicking the ball at 42% to start this game.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting dominated. They've had chances to use the ball well, but I just think their back six, they're not in sync with each other. They had a spare in Sicily when that ball came in, and Ben Stratton decided to leave his man.
There were numbers in front of him. He was almost just pleading for someone to come at the leg.
Gibson lobs it at half forward. There's a bit going on before the ball arrived with Moore and Sicily. Betts somehow sends it on away again, and they'll be getting nervous back there. The Hawks, is that holding the ball? Oh, Newnes has kicked a goal! Pay the advantage, he's got another one! Jack the goal sneak!
He's a big soccer man too, Newnesy. He'd be very, very happy with this one. Either no one coming at the leg or just an apprehension in kicking the ball to a 1v1. We see Eddie Betts do that exact thing. Just take on the contest. It doesn't have to be perfect. And, gee, any striker would be happy with that finish.
Just the cough up too deep in your defence. You just don't need these easy outs. And maybe he was afraid that he'd get done holding the ball. You'd nearly rather get done holding the ball in that instance than just to cough it up easy.
Coming across, McAvoy knew he was going to get contact. He gets thumped into the ground. Hopefully he's okay. Newnes put the pressure on. Play on, Scrimshaw back to doing. There's danger in the kick. Walsh, plenty on it. Here comes Levi, fighting across the front, and he takes the mark. Jack Martin clapping his hands. Please pass it over, but no.
The turnover occurred on the other side of the ground in the defensive half, so you just wonder how it does when it takes that period of time to transfer the ball the length of the field, how Levi Casbolt is left unattended and able to essentially take an uncontested mark.
11 goals, 4 for the season. And that'll do. So it's Carlton with the first strike in the second.
He called it, Geordie, with the ball movement. So the intercept mark, there wasn't a hesitation. The switch was on and they took it straight away.
Because the defence is so caught out, they're not all in sync, whereas if you go down the line a lot of the time, everyone's in their own position that you can get set from a defensive point of view, but when you use the open side, it's more unpredictable from a defensive structure point of view.
Gee, they'd love to show that edit, won't they?
Well, they'd love to show, yeah.
One tackle, two tackle, harass, and then good ball use.
And certainly from a defensive point of view, how Levi Casbolt was able to get so much space. I mean, that's the behind the goal vision that you can see from the coach's box. And maybe it was Sicily that just took an aggressive position up front.
Oh, I think you're right, Geordie. So I think Sicily sees Scrimshaw's won it. Okay, I'm going to get assertive because we need to get our ball use going. So you can forgive him on that occasion.
But no, the release handball to Doherty. He ran it straight into a brick wall in the form of Tom Scully. High ball deep. He got a free run at it, Levi. And he's a natural mark. And once he got the opportunity, he gobbled it up. And 50 means there'll be no room for Levi to get the wobbles.
Oh, it's the second 50 they've given away this game for a direct goal. So I don't know what it was for, whether it was for abuse towards the umpire.
I don't think he could miss from there, could he? No, he couldn't. Of course he couldn't. And they need them right now. Carlton absolutely desperate. Going, Eddie Betts swoops, and the kick in an instant. They're deep. Kennedy, Martin. It took all of 14 seconds for the Blues to get a mark in front of goal.
And there still has to be a method in which they play. They can't be ballistic and just try and get as many scores from inside 50s as they possibly can. There still has to be a method in which they go forward.
So Jack Martin, his goal kicking this year hasn't always been as straight as it was just now when it's needed. Second goal, and that's given them hope.
Yeah, well, they do have hope because they're the #1 scoring team from intercepts so far this year, and they've got multiple avenues to goal, Carlton. They've got 6 players, including Jack Newnes now, who has ticked over into averaging more than a goal a game. So that is plenty of avenues to goal. So you're not going to become too predictable where Hawthorn can just roll off. Hey, the little bit, only they can answer that question, but plenty of growth left in the Carlton team.
Another free kick for Patrick Cripps.
You got the free pat.
He and Mitchell were pushing and shoving off the ball.
3/6 for Patrick Cripps. He's had 25 disposals, only 7 kicks. First part of the year, he was He's always been a high handballer, but he was kicking the ball more in the early part of the year, not quite so much the last few weeks. He's got plenty of attention, a bit of a chest injury. He's tried hard. It hasn't been his night, though. Hasn't been Carlton's night. He kicks accurately there. His first goal, and he missed a couple early.